Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Melvin Way, and this is a one-off single episode or plant growing series about growing ice cream bean trees from seeds. I already had a series that lasted for about 3 years concerning growing an ice cream bean tree from cutting. So that was one of my most successful series. It didn't have a lot of user interest, but I figured I'd show you the entire life cycle because that was grown from a cutting, a very small cutting that I bought from a local exotic plant nursery. And I've been getting a lot of seeds with all these crops, so I figured I might as well show you the part of the life cycle you missed, growing ice cream bean trees from seeds, at least in the initial phase. So yeah, these are already germinating. You can see one right here. It's got a sprout, and the fruit flesh is wet. It's spongiform. I don't like letting these pods dry out. If you harvest them, pick them off the stem or they fall off the tree, within days they dry out pretty quickly, and then they turn sort of a yellow like you see here, or a greenish yellow. And if you let them sit for a little longer, they become yellow and then eventually a dark brown. And when they're dark brown, they're very, very tough and hard to cut open. So you got to be careful when you're trying to slice them open lengthwise. But yeah, you can see me consuming the fruit flesh here. It's not quite like ice cream, of course, because it's not cold. It does have a little bit of a vanilla taste. I suppose the name is apt enough. It's not a misnomer. But I enjoyed this in small quantities. It's not really that, well, it's got kind of an artificial sweetener taste to it, a little bit. That's just my opinion of eating this. But yeah, it's not like any of your standard fruits. And you can see the seeds are rather large, which makes it inconvenient to eat, because a lot of the seed is... yeah, a lot of the volume in the seed pods are just these huge seeds right here. And they start germinating on the tree already if you leave them for a few months, before harvesting. I think it's actually best to harvest them when they're, green and unripe looking. But it's quite hard to make that determination as to how far you want to let them go. Definitely you want to let the seed pods puff up, and you don't want to be harvesting anything that just looks really flat because there's nothing in there. So yeah, I would say get them, I don't know, after a few weeks, after the seed pods puff up. Like some will receive all the nutrients, the sugars and whatnot from all the leaf production and become very big fruits. And then there's others that are just sort of malformed and stay flat. There's no ice cream, so to speak, within those pods. And then some of them fall off. Other pods just bust open on their own and start growing mold and whatnot. So yeah, the tree became quite high maintenance, and I chopped it down recently, meaning in 2025 spring, not when I filmed all of this, which was beginning in 2024 spring, around March. So these are the 4 biggest seeds. This one hasn't germinated, well, a little bit. I mean, you see a little bit of a root tip there, but basically in the seed pod, they start germinating and they have nowhere to go. It's too compact in there. Nothing's rotten or mushy, so they don't have the ability to push anything out of the way, really, because nothing's soft or rotten. So I'm gonna plant these 4 seeds in this spare pot that at the time I wasn't doing anything with, and we'll see what the development is like for the first 53 days. So I'm counting this as day 0, but really it's not, because these seeds have already been germinating inside this pod for a few months, as far as I know. So yeah, I say day 0 through 53, or growing ice cream bean seeds for 53 days. But realistically, it was more like possibly 100 days, 200 days, something like that. So I'm not going to plant these too far out at the corners, and since I don't plan on having the series go on for too long, I'm not going to care about crowding, which would definitely be an issue because this is one of the fastest growers. And you can see the parent tree is, you can see a little bit of foliage sticking out to the left, upper left corner right now. So, and you can see a fallen leaf as well. So it produced these huge compound leaves and many giant compound leaflets. 8 inches, 20 centimeters in length were pretty common. And after a while, it just generates a lot of dead leaves that fall off and litter your yard. So yeah, you can see this one's just ready to go. It's got a very visible green sprout already. And I bet with a little bit of water, there's already some moisture inside this coco coir. They're all going to take off pretty fast. I don't see any problems really. So my experience is once a seed starts to germinate, once you see that root apical meristem shoot out downwards, you're good to go. You don't even need to wait for the shoot system, the shoot apical meristem to appear or cotyledons or anything, to unfold. You could just plant it. And as long as the conditions aren't too harsh and there's not, some sort of a fungal problem, you should be fine. So I'm just giving it a little bit of water here, and that's it. And we'll see how these germinate. So there's already a lot of nutrition stored within the seeds themselves. And I know I'm very guilty of this in the past. For mini series, I would just start fertilizing, within the first, within even planting sometimes, or, within the first few weeks. So this is day 11. You can see in these 2 spots closer to us, not much is going on, but you can see some stuff is busting up here for the 2 spots that are further away. There's some coco coir in the way. And yeah, it's really hard to film this stuff when it's tiny like this. I used to have point and shoot cameras that had macro mode, so I could do real extreme close-ups of spider mites and other pests, aphids, things like that. And I've just lost that ability because for the last 10 years I've been using cell phones, which produce really good footage, but yeah, there's a lot of limitations due to the tiny sensor size, tiny lens size. There's not a lot of space in a cell phone to completely replicate all the functions of DSLR cameras and point and shoot cameras back in the day. I actually don't really like the DSLR cameras either because they're like hand cannons. They're just too heavy. So yeah, you could see the germinations going just fine. It's you've got these typical colors of shoots that I've seen in a lot of fruit trees. You got some reds, some yellow green going on, and then there's hairs to prevent predation. Hopefully predation's not a problem, but yeah, with a lack of macro zoom, macro mode on my cell phone camera, it's like we can't really see like the first few stage instars of those spider mites and other pests that are newly microscopic when they start out. And, some species are smaller than the others. So yeah, you can see there's another shoot busting out at the base of this. So yeah, the orientation is different. I sit around all around my pots and film at different angles. So now we're looking at it from the opposite side. But yeah, you could see there's maybe this is polyembryonic. It's got 2 shoots. This one might be a dual shooter as well. I don't really know what the advantages are of that. Yeah, there's more foliage, more growth. This one has it's got 2 shoots. And then some of these initial compound leaves look a little funny too. But yeah, I mean, usually all this stuff sorts itself out by the time the plant gets a little bit older to an intermediate stage. It becomes a sapling. Then the leaves look very, very consistent. But in the beginning, yeah, sometimes you can have some weird stuff happening with these fruit trees. But yeah, it's easy to grow. This one has a little bit of possibly chlorosis symptoms. I'm not going to really go into the issues of water quality and fertilization, because this is just a one-off episode that lasts 53 days, and we're already at day 33. So yeah, I mean, this isn't going to go on for much longer. It's just sort of filler content to show you what ice cream bean seed germination looks like. And I've covered the rest of the life cycle in that very long series that ran for about 3 years. So that's pretty much it for me in terms of ice cream bean tree growing and possibly ice cream bean fruit eating. So yeah, I might never have access to that stuff again, but yeah, it's time to move on to different fruit trees. I always have limited space and time and labor to make these videos and grow plants, so I always have to choose carefully, and I've tried growing some of the harder ones over and over. And you know, the lemon tree from seeds, that struggled and almost died to a caterpillar plague. There's also my growing avocado trees from Pit series that's currently ongoing in 2025. That's doing really well. My California poppies in their second season are doing okay. They've been struggling for a bit, and I've changed up some variables, but yeah, that's just for personal interest. I know that series, flower series, don't see a lot of viewership, and I have 2 open pots that I can do other things with. So I'm thinking about possibly revisiting ginger. Somebody recently recommended germinating coconuts. So it seems like all the palms take forever to germinate, but that might be an interesting experiment to try. And what else could I do? You know, navel oranges from seeds, that's another possibility. So, but yeah, in the end, I have limitations on how much time and labor I can devote to the care of my plants, and also, more importantly, to the generation of YouTube videos. And the fact that I'm publishing this video, I'm narrating a year and 2 months roughly after I started this tiny little series, speaks volumes as to my production rates. You know, I've really dropped off compared to let's say you know, 10 to 12 years ago, you know, when I was first starting. You know, then I saw some spectacular success during the pandemic, when all the millennials were watching my plant growing videos. I think it was like 2020. Yeah, 2020 summer, that was the peak. And pretty much, you know, just never again. You know, it's been a huge drop off since, and I think it's been like that for many other industries as well. But yeah, YouTube is unpredictable in what the algo gods are going to feed your channel. So yeah, I have a decent amount of subscribers, but yeah, it's like most of them don't see my channel, don't watch my videos on a regular basis. Not that I publish on a regular basis, but I just keep this going as a hobby. It doesn't really make that much money or get that much viewership these days, but I like filming my plants, and I'm making better and better progress as the years go by. So yeah, it's just a matter of personal interest at this point. So it would be nice if my channel saw some kind of resurgence at some point, but you know, unless there's some kind of earth-shattering event like the pandemic, I don't really see that happening. You know, and it all requires a bit of luck, and who knows, maybe everyone who wants to see this kind of content has already subscribed or seen my channel at some point. So there's just a lot of really great content out on YouTube these days anyway. So yeah, like I watch some plant growing channels, but I mostly watch other stuff actually. So yeah, I get enough out of the creation of my own content. But yeah, like sometimes I do watch other people's plant growing channels as well, just to get some expertise, see how they're doing things. And you can see there's a extra plant growing in here. I don't know what that is. It's got nice waxy leaves. It looks like it could be interesting. Sometimes I get this urge to just grow, just the random weeds that start germinating in my pots. I used to have a Scarlet Pimpernel series. I called it a mystery plant at the time, and that was I think almost 10 years ago. So yeah, I have some of that growing in my front yard on the perimeter, actually, just wild. So I also thought that marginal little strips of dirt, maybe salt heliotrope, has really pretty flowers. I see that in Los Penasquitos Canyon Preserve. Not too far from here. Yeah, that's one of my more favorite local hikes. And yeah, I have no idea what this thing is. Maybe it's just seed from some kind of local landscaping plant bush. So yeah, I can see little black dots. Since this is going to end in a few minutes, I'm not going to go too much into pest control, nutrition, fertilizer, water, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you get the idea. If it wasn't for this sort of yellow green mottled look of I think it might be chlorosis, and some little dots there that I don't know, maybe that's caused by spider mite infestation. I've seen some webbings, and some tiny little tan beige colored dots on those webbings, just from reviewing some of this footage. And yeah, I'm just spraying this because I spray all my plants at the same time, so they pretty much all get the same treatment. But yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it was kind of silly because within a few days I decided to end it all. So this is the final day. It's 2024 May, day 53. This is the finale day. We're going to do an examination of the root systems. So if you let these get any bigger, of course, seedlings will grow straight up. And there is the issue of if you use too much chemical fertilizer, like I found out with my avocado trees grown from pit series, it's still ongoing. Even seedlings grown from seed can fall over if you use too much fertilizer and the water quality is bad and all that. But yeah, this is it. The parent tree actually had very robust trunk growth, so falling over wasn't a problem. But in the beginning, anything grown from a cut-in is going to have maybe some problems standing straight up because you're starting from a branch that's more or less more horizontal than vertical in most cases, and you're trying to get that to grow straight up and ignore all of its previously programmed, gravitational orientation. So yeah, some of the roots just break off in there, and then I have to kind of dig around. You don't want to leave roots in there because that's organic material that could rot and create more or less some kind of inhibition for future plant growth. So I want to have whatever seedlings I have growing in here in the future to have the best time possible and not be encountering dead roots that are just using up the oxygen by rotting inside the coco coir. So yeah, this is you can see how the seed splits open. You can see the tap root. So it goes pretty deep. It's predictable for most fruit trees. They have tap roots that go really, really deep primarily before you get any of those like secondary roots. And because these are still very young, the roots are fragile. So yeah, this is a tropical fruit tree that really, really accelerates in growth. And because it doesn't start from like a giant avocado pit or mango pit, of course, the taproot is much more fragile. It's thinner. But yeah, I would kind of argue that the big stiff taproot of avocado and mango, that could be fragile too, because if you break it, then I think the seedlings are pretty much dead in the water. So I don't know if you have any experiences of breaking the taproot of a mango, germinating mango seed, or an avocado tree, and had those recover. Like, let me know in the comments. But I don't think I've broken them before, so I don't know. I have no frame of reference to go off of. But yeah, that's the development of 4 seedlings that were already germinating in the bean pod for possibly, many weeks or even months before I even noticed. So yeah, growing ice cream bean trees from seeds, it's pretty easy. My seedlings had a little bit of, chlorosis and whatnot, but I think even with this crappy San Diego tap water, you can still do fine. I mean, I went all the way with my ice cream bean cutting series, and that was with just feeding from the front yard hose, shower hose, untold hundreds of gallons or thousands of gallons of hard tap water. That's very basic, and I managed to go all the way. Pest problems were minimal, perhaps because it's adapted for the Amazon rainforest, so whatever pests are there are probably not here for the most part. It did have susceptibility to some katydids, but the katydids would just eat like tiny little holes here and there in some of the compound leaflets. But overall, the leaf production on these trees and the growth rate is very insane. So this is what the root systems look like. Pretty healthy. No colors. It's not like with the Joshua tree where you get these beautiful reddish roots and pinkish roots sometimes. So the root system here looks quite boring in contrast to some of the other fruit trees that I've had. So thanks a lot for watching this mini series, 1 episode, and please stay tuned to my YouTube channel for further updates and new growing series.